Live now. Hey, what is happening, everybody? It's Gas Masks and Hand Grenades here. I am Jeff, the proprietor of such enterprise. This guy over here, Mr. Lee G from Heavy Art Talk, and this guy down here, Finger Black. I'm not sure I even want to know what that even means. I don't even know that I want to know.
It will melt
we
your
got
finger.
Rick down here from the Dreadful Minutes, and we're doing a quick little thing here because for about the last, I don't know, almost probably close to 3 weeks or maybe nearly a month, I don't know, I've been sort of teasing this review on this t-shirt because I reached 1,000 subs about 5 weeks ago, somewhere in that range. Rick probably knows when it was more than I do. I didn't really write it down or pay any attention to it, but sometime in the last 4 or 5 weeks, I reached, and actually, I'm glad, Tim, that you're here because I'm going to mention you as well. We talked about this. Lee and I talked about doing this back. I actually initially said, man, maybe I'll do this when I have 500 subs. And I just felt like that was a little too premature, a little too early in the game at this point. And I was kind of like, let's wait. Let's see if I even get close to 1,000 subs. Because of my health, I was not even really sure that was going to happen. But it did happen. And I don't know if you guys heard this before, but I've read or heard somewhere multiple times, not just once, that only 10% of YouTube channels actually ever get to 1,000 subscribers, which is kind of hard to believe, but kind of cool. Kind of cool. I think a lot of people bail out after doing a couple episodes or doing a couple posting videos, and they just, they don't get as serious about how some of us have. And some of us have gotten far more serious than others. I still try to avoid the editing.
A lot of it's just like bullshit vlogs or people putting up stuff for family.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Right. Yeah, they're not real serious shows. So like our stuff is super serious, of course, right? So but anyway, yours is absolutely not serious.
Yeah, you got to make jokes.
It's not one single bit of any of your shows that are serious. Right? But anyways, long story short, so I talked to Lee about doing this about a year ago because he had sent me a rather flattering depiction of myself farting over top of some sort of a hemispheres thing, and there was also like a Doctor Who telephone.
It was the phone booth because I was doing Porcupine Tree.
Sky moves
sideways.
Yeah.
So it's the fart moves sideways.
That's right. It was the fart move sideways.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have a problem of flatulence on camera or something, if that's where that came from. I'm not really sure. But anyway, so when I saw Lee did that, and this was before I really knew how great I was going to say how great a guitarist Lee is, how great an artist Lee is.
Maybe
I don't know how
good
you are a guitarist.
Oh, no, I'm terrible.
I'm going to guess I'm way better than you. I'm just going to guess.
You're right. I'm a drummer,
anyway,
man.
If you know more than 3 chords, you're already ahead of the pack.
What's that?
If you know more than 3 chords, you're already ahead of the pack, man.
That's true. That's true. So, I honestly, we did sort of talk about this probably almost a year ago, and we didn't. I just don't know how realistic it was at that point. And I was like, yeah, let's just hold up. Well, finally, about 2 months ago, we started closing in on 1,000. I said, dude, I think I want to do this, and because there for the longest while, we would kind of touch on it here and there. And you'd be like, yeah, just let me know when you're ready, and I'll start putting some ideas together. And initially, when we talked about it, one of the things I do recall talking to you about was, I want you to do this thing the way you want to envision it. However, I have a couple of ideas. And the one thing I was kind of a Cthulhu monster, maybe from the deep or from space, one or the other. And one was, I just had this image of a dude in a gas mask with a fedora on and the trench coat, 50s style, with the hand grenade, lobbing hand grenades. And we got most of that. And so now I'll let you kind of take over and talk about the concept. And I guess, do we want to show it?
Yeah, show the file. Yeah.
Right. So this is the final shirt design here. I think we might have the image on the front might be a slight bit larger when we actually go to do this. And I should mention real quick before I get into Lee. Lee did all the artwork here, including all the illustrations. His wife helped with the lettering. We had a couple different options there, which I actually threw out to people that were watching the one night about a month ago or whatever. That I said, "What do you guys think looks the coolest?" And everybody, that was the consensus for the most part with the script that way. Because initially I had the idea of putting the logo that's on all my thumbnails as the design, and you were kind of resistant to that pretty intensely. And you can explain why. But then I thought, well, okay, well, how about we put that on the back? And then that really transmuted into me going, but wait a minute, what if we did this? Because that was my idea to throw the and you said, well, what if I did these little icons?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what you call them, little icons for either side of the front image. I'm like, yeah, what if we made them bigger and put them on the back instead with like a saying or something like that? So this kind of was mostly you, 95% you, and me kind of going back and forth going, oh, I love it. Or I don't think I said I didn't like any of it. I'm pretty sure I was pretty gung-ho on all of it right away.
No, you never gave me any feedback for changes.
No.
Just
and
ideas.
So the thing was, at that point, I was like, just roll with it. If I see anything I really don't like, I might say something, but I didn't really run into that. And we ended up, the compromise was to go, instead of a one-sided shirt, was to go with a two-sided shirt, which I think was the right move. And then on top of all that, Tim, who's here in the chat, I want to thank for the really cool tagline that we ended up using, which I'm using on every show now, where music melts your mind. And Rick comes into it by doing the layout on the back of the shirt with the font and the images, and then he did something cool with the melts. That was a great idea, dude. That was primo to do the melting imagery on the thing. So all these little details. So I'll let Lee kind of take over and talk about what he was thinking and what led to this drawing.
Sure. Do you want to do solo layout and I can show stuff up?
Yep. Give me one sec here. All right.
So I guess we'll go in chronological order. So actually, I probably could find some sketches too. So anytime I'm creating something that is not just like a really one-sitting casual type of thing, I like to do studies. And what that basically means is doing small pieces, which that's the thing is we were working on this for quite some time. I was just pretty casual and kind of slow about it. But funny enough, I was just randomly sketching and I came up with this kind of like fungal dragon. This is like a colored version. And I was like, man, I really want to like build this thing out into a full dragon because there's just something magical about it. Just kind of all clicked. So this was completely separate from the process at the time. I just came up with it and liked it. And I was like, you know what? I can combine this Cthulhian type of thing that Jeff wants with this overall composition. So the next thing I do, this is on sketch paper. So it's really thin, not used for archival final pieces. But this is what you call preliminary drawing. So very loose gestural pencil. Then what I did was I just wanted to get the values, meaning how dark or light something is, by putting in ink. So my method of doing that was just like really laying down some Sharpie, showing where there would be some negative space, and kind of just getting an overall map of how it is. And I'm really loose with the inking. I just want to get the overall feel. So I'm not very tight at this point. From there, what I do is I take a picture of it, print it out on computer paper, and then I did another one where I wanted to really get all the shading in, particularly on this rock. So like this little cliff that he's sitting on was one of the hardest parts because I needed it to contrast with this eyeball creature here, and then also make sure that the head still pops out. So a good drawing, in my opinion, and piece, there's a lot of problem solving. It's not just creativity. Maybe it's creativity through problem solving, but the initial idea is a a spark of creativity, but there's so much that's mechanical and almost like engineering, like when you're creating a piece of work, at least in my process. So then it takes us to the final. I'll just let you guys kind of soak it in for a minute.
Wow.
So
Man.
this is where you get the right balance of looseness and tightness. So you have some cool, design elements. Like I have this like kind of stream of smoke here. This right here is like a eyeball kind of Cthulhian creature. But basically the story with this piece is space traveler lands on a deserted type planet that is plagued by this like underground fungal hive mind being. He basically stumbles his way over to this pit. This thing emerges with the eye, and the eye sees for the dragons. They have a symbiotic relationship. So they're
Nice.
both plagued by this type of fungal infection. So it's basically him facing off against the dragon and then also this creature that's emerging from the pit. Some of the design choices is I love things that have a frame and an ornate feel. So I chose to make the tail essentially like a design element that frames it all together.
Right.
And then it goes into a grenade-like Easter egg type shape in terms of like
Yeah.
a rattle at the end.
Well, you got the contour, like the top, like the wings. It kind of has that arc, and it kind of follows the
Yeah.
tail. You know,
Yep.
that's stuff that it just looks like happenstance, but I'm sure you were very conscious about putting that composition together. You know, stuff like that when it's thrown together, it's like I think a lot of people don't realize how much the illustrators are conscious of that stuff when it's being put together. Which when we just see the final result, we're like, oh wow, it's all just thrown together. It just happenstance to be that way. Like, no, that's all. That's what design is. Illustration is design in its own form, in that kind of way.
Lee, do you know when you started it? Like, did you note the day that you started it, or
No.
no?
It was 2024 though. I can
Oh,
safely
you
say that.
Okay, you started it in this year then. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think I jumped into the 1,000 range until might have been the second week of January or something like that in that frame. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you like when you
2024,
initially. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So we're in early March, right? Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
2024 that I started.
Yeah, I believe it was too. Rick, you posted something on your Instagram when I jumped over into 1,000. So you're probably the best because I don't think I said anything about it until like 3 weeks later or something like that.
So the one with the Billy Ocean, probably.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I'd have to look, but so when you started it, I think the original. You hit me up about a week or so or two into it, and you gave me, I believe, that first draft that you showed me. You're like, hey, these are some of the things I'm thinking. And right away I was like, holy fuck, man, this is like, wow. Like way more than I expected, to be honest with you, in a lot of ways. I knew you were a very good artist, and I knew that whatever you did was going to look cool. But I don't think I expected you to kind of go that deep, with it. And maybe you didn't even expect to go that deep, but once you got started.
What's hilarious is when you're working with pros, and if you've never done it before, it's a whole different experience. Like that thing that Lee calls sketches, like people will be like, I'll take that, man. That thing is a masterpiece. I think you call a sketch. Like,
well, hey, listen, when I actually start working with some pros, I'll let you know how it goes. So
fair enough.
No, so that was cool. And then you hit me up a couple different times, and as the shading started to go, and as we got to the lettering, it was like, man, this is like wicked. Like I almost couldn't not share it. I was just getting too excited to go, well, people need to see this because it's so badass looking. And everyone that has seen it has been like, holy shit, this is insane. So, I think people that are maybe watching your show now more frequently, because I noticed you're bouncing up almost to. You're in the early 900s. You're already pushing 1,000, which is, which you only started this at the beginning of 23, right?
Yeah, my first video was top 20 of
early 23, right? So I mean, you've done. Sorry, damn it. You've grown quite exponentially compared to like Rick and I, who, it took a lot more grinding. I think maybe because you're a little bit more niche to a certain market of what people that are out
Yeah.
there. You're getting some of the metalheads, but you're also getting some real art people, right?
Mostly
I think he's doing it the right way. You're doing it the right way. You're not taking these cheap shortcuts and clickbaity kind of things. Like you want the right people watching this and the right audience.
Nah,
Like
but
people who
look
are
at his
curious.
intro now. He's got fucking Mark Riddick and it's professional music, and he's all cool and shit now, right?
Yeah,
We're
man,
still-
we got lighting.
Yeah, lighting and everything, which I don't even do. I fucking have my TV most of the time. So
Oh man, if I had
But-
Marty Riddick on, I poster that shit all day too.
going back
That's
to this a minute real quick. So when Lee and I, as I said, I kind of wanted I wanted something relative to gas masks and hand grenades, although we did have the hand grenade on the tail, which was cool. But I said to him, and when we were kind of going back and forth a little bit on the front image, and that you didn't really want anything disturbed on, which I understood. So then it was kind of like, well, what could we do? And of course, the fact that it's a double-sided shirt, that increases the expense because Marty has to make two. Oh, by the way, if I didn't mention, Marty at Bindroom Screen Printing is going to be doing the shirts, and I'll get to how you can get one in a minute here. So kind of, I talked to Marty about it initially, and I'm like, it's going to be one color and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, maybe you want to think about a back print. I'm like, yeah, but then how much more is it going to cost? And it does. It costs a little bit more. But the more I started thinking about it, the more I was like, yeah, I really think I want to make, I don't know about you guys, but when I get a cool metal shirt or whatever, like I really love when there's back print on shirts. Even though I can't see it, I kind of dig it that maybe other people can see it, right? So like I just got this in, finally got a Jethro Tull shirt.
Well, that's cool.
Love this image, right?
That's awesome.
But it would have been cool if there was something a little bit on the back, but there wasn't.
That's the Broadsword album, right? Yeah.
What's that?
One. That's the Broadsword album, right?
Yeah, Broadsword, yeah.
You're in thumbnail
probably
mode. As hard as
What's that?
you're in thumbnail mode. You're a tiny view.
Oh, right. Yeah. But anyway, long story short, when we started kicking that around, I thought initially I was just going to go with the thumbnail logo like everyone's used to seeing on all my thumbnails that Rick designed, by the way, way back. And I love it because it's got the M with the mask, the gas mask, the G is the grenade.
People know, I kind of just threw that together so you have some kind of identity.
Yeah, but
I
it
made it a
looks
thumbnail
cool,
size. I didn't have to forethought to be like, your channel's gonna grow exponentially. You hit 1,000 subs.
Yeah, but I love that, dude. I love that. I'm never gonna change that. That's gonna stay there. I love that design.
I can do a proper like vector version of it. Like
it looks good. It looks good. Don't worry about it.
Oh,
you're good. We'll worry about that if I'm alive in 2 months. But long story short,
if you do another run of these, and you expand on it, make like a tie-dye version of this shirt and stuff like that, maybe we can explore.
Don't think we're gonna go. Rick, we're not going that far. We're just doing this one. We're just doing this one for now. But I thought what's that?
Did you see what I did there? I tried to sneak that into your head. See if it get into your
about
psyche.
A tie dye. Nah, I'm not the tie dye guy. So I kind of wanted to do something, and then Lee said, "Well, let me put together a gas mask and a hand grenade." And I thought, oh, they're going to be these tiny little, fairly innocuous things, but turns out they're just as detailed, maybe even more detailed in some ways, and they're just wicked. Like for example, you look at the gas mask; it's got the skull, which Rick kind of came up with for my avatar initially, but it's a little bit more evil looking, quite frankly, because Rick had to work with what he had to work with. And the really cool thing with that one is it's got the the hose coming out, which are those Russian versions. The only ones that are spooky are the ones with the weird, they look like ants.
Yeah.
Those things are, the Russian ones. Those are so eerie looking. But this is really close too. And once I saw that, then I think you forwarded to Rick those images, and then we told him approximately what font was used. And that, Rick, I'm not even 100% sure that font's the exact same one, is it or not?
Probably not. There's 1,000 clnes out there, man. They look like
this. Real
like,
close though. Yeah,
I look at the fonts all day. Like I just skim it.
Yeah,
out. So
them
like,
like Yeah.
Get stuff from clients, and then they want me to match shit all day. I'm like, pull stuff out of my ass. It's like, I'm not saying how to. It wasn't too much work on this one, but I'm saying, but that's generally what I do with my day job. Too many
I think
assholes.
Tim has a really good point. You could switch the back and the front, and it would just be as wicked both ways. It really has just a real cool classic look to it. So, yeah, Mike, we're not doing that tonight. It's just about the shirt. So, and I gotta hurry up.
If you really wanted to, like give it a proper thing, is put like a little YouTube and Instagram logo.
Nah, we're not doing that.
Social media. But
I know
yeah,
I know why
I was going to
saying
suggest that, but I'm like, but I've seen people do that.
I know I don't want to do that though.
As an design.
I understand why you're saying it, but I don't want it that way. So I guess, Rick, was there anything particular you had to do with this? I mean, you knocked it out in what, 30 minutes or less or something?
I just, it's just do the composite. I threw everything together. In this particular case, it's easier to just do everything in Photoshop. I could have threw it together in Adobe InDesign. But the fact that it's going to to Marty. And by the way, anybody who's ever ordered like a shirt from Bind Room, like you're gonna get this kind of quality, which holds up really good in the wash. It's not like those iron-ons. They're like, will last like 3 washes.
I think he uses Gildan. I think he uses Gildan. Right?
Yeah. I got the here. I'll show this real quick.
Yeah, so they'll be going to Marty, but here's the deal on that. When Rick gets done here, I'm gonna tell you guys how you can order one and get Lee out of here because he's got
to blow me up
quickly here.
If you want an idea of quality right here, I mean, this shit, it's like, which is the perfect marriage because here's a logo I did with Lee's artwork.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Fucking sexy contour,
together
man.
again.
Yeah, you guys are like the go-to guys now, right?
So yeah, it's good stuff. So like I said,
is that just a one-sided one?
Yeah.
This one is Okay. Which is I wonder if I should wear this to the show tomorrow, Jeff.
Go for it.
Should I?
Where are you guys seeing?
We're going to that decibel thing.
Oh, I saw that.
Worm Holder.
How was it?
It was great. Don't miss Worm.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. That's who I want to see.
That was the best band.
Was it?
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
We're going
to show the original illustration.
Oh, right.
So the cool thing about being an illustrator sometimes is like I knew I was making this for commercial purposes, so I just need to make it enough. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the difference sometimes, like these little moments between like somebody who's probably views themselves more as an illustrator than like a fine artist. You know what I mean? Like
right.
I knew exactly what I was trying to accomplish with these, and I knocked these out in 3 hours, start to finish.
I was going to say that was quick. You had them back to me the next day. Yeah.
I had a pocket of time, and I just got pretty focused and knocked them out. I really like how the grenade came out, man. Like some of that hatching there, like with the different gradients and stuff. Like, I'm not trying to come off like, like a prick here, but I was pretty happy with how that came out.
Oh, that thing looks wicked, especially the spikes on it. Just
I want to have that dragon element, like
the dragon tail. Yeah. Yep. And I mean, show the gas mask a little closer up. Yeah, like all the detail, the fine detail on the swirling on the cylinder, the gas cylinder on both sides, and the skull itself with the sort of almost like the way the shading at the top just looks fucking cool as hell, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I was really happy with it.
It's just fine. Like it has your illustration and it fits. It doesn't compete with the front and back. If let's say you would have had a different illustrator working on it, it would have been competing with both sides. But the way you have it is it's a cohesive style. It comes together just right. Like you said, with the dragon, with the spikes, the back. I look at it from a graphic design lens.
So here's the deal. And I worked with Marty on this. We talked about it. Now I want people to understand. I realize that Marty's shirts are like $15 on his website, but mine are not going to be $15. First of all, they're two-sided. I know his other ones have like script on some of them on the back. I think the one says Eternal Streaming or something like that, or Streaming Eternal or something like that. But people have to understand Marty has the infrastructure. He has a website. He has shipping. He has the materials for shipping right there because he's doing Bind Room. He's doing other T-shirts that he's selling. He's doing other people's work for them. So I can't stay. I wanted to try to be in that price range but adding the back adds a cost, and therefore, and you have to understand, I got to get these shipped to me because I don't want Marty to have to be the guy that has to ship them out to people, because that's another step for him that he's not essentially, so I got to pay Lee. I got to pay Lee for this illustration that he's done for me. I got to pay Marty for the production of the shirts, and then I got to pay to have them shipped to me before I ship out to you. So mine are a little bit more expensive than Marty's, which I was going to try hard to adhere to. And actually, in talking with Marty, a price that I had initially set up, he's like, nah, don't short yourself. Go a little bit higher on that. So you can blame Marty Worm for the price being higher, just a little. But here's the deal. These T-shirts are going to be $20 a piece, which I do not think is a bad price for a double-sided, well-produced,
I would say look at it this way. Right now, if you want to buy a Big Mac meal, that's about what it costs now. It's
almost,
stupid.
yeah, sadly.
But this shirt costs about what a Big Mac meal will cost.
Yeah, and I know you all want to go and watch the State of the Union address. I'm sure you're dying to go hear that, but everything costs more. Just let's take a look at. I got in Skeletal Remains yesterday. I bought the new album. I got it from the guys. It did come with a cool poster. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it back there? There. Right there. Signed by the guys. Nice thick cardstock, Dan Seagrave stuff. When it was all said and done, it was $43 for me for a brand new Skeletal Remains album from those guys. And I was like, wow. Do you remember just in 2019 with colored variants were $22 and $21? Remember that? Remember those days?
I remember bitching about that then.
And shipping was $5 or $4.95, and now shipping is $8.95 for every fucking album you buy. So here's the deal. Yes, unfortunately, because of the cost of producing these, the fact that I do have to pay Lee, I actually, if you remember, initially, Lee, we kind of talked about, well, maybe we'll do it as a trade sort of thing. And then I'm like, no, I'm going to pay you, dude. I'm going to pay you. So I got to pay him. I've been slowly trying to pay Rick back for years of generosity. So he's going to the show tomorrow night on me, which I'm going on Seasons of Mist. So it's actually not on me, but he's going on me. I'm sure. Huh?
I'll buy you a beer, man.
Well, no, you don't have to buy me a beer. I got to still buy you some beers. Anyway, and I do have some stuff sitting on the kitchen table to come down tomorrow night. Anyway, so that's kind of what it's going to be. So, Tim, Canadian funds would push the price to $30 per shirt. I guess if you're Canadian, you'll have to do the conversion. It is more expensive there. Now, here's the other thing. It's $20, but it's plus shipping. So in most cases, I'm going to run with the Mylar bag or the first class bag. They make like a bag that you can seal with like a sealant on it. Because in all honesty, they're not going to get damaged being shipped. I've seen many. This shirt came in a bag from Amazon yesterday. And this shirt, by the way, was $24.99 for this shirt. Okay. And then the shipping was not free because it was not an Amazon person. It was a seller on Amazon. So it was it was $30 for this shirt. So I'm still aiming to try to keep these in the 24 to 26 range for people, unless, of course, you live in Canada, South America, Ireland. I know Peter wanted one. Europe. If there's somebody over in Europe, you're gonna have to.
Depends on the technology too. Some of these shirts are like print on demand, dye sublimation kind of stuff, which is has a different kind of way. Is that what that is?
That's what this is. Yeah,
that's full color.
It's silkscreen, but it's probably DTG, like that digital to garment or whatever. It looks fine, yeah. So real quick, because I got to get Lee out of here in the next 5 minutes. How I'm going to do this is they're $20. Anything above an XL, though, like if you go to 2X or 3X, we're going to have to add $2 more because that's my cost. I'm not making it more expensive for you. If you need a double XL, it'll be $22, okay, plus the shipping. So that's the reality of it. I wanted to try to keep these in the under 25, but in talking to Marty with inflation and the cost of everything, it's just, I got to charge for the shipping because frankly, I can't absorb even shipping out to California is probably for one of these shirts is $5 now, $5.50
No,
maybe.
everything is stupid, man. Like even if you try to buy a record like media mail, it's not like that $5 flat ship thing is gone, man. Those days are gone.
Is it?
Like everything
Is it really?
everything shipped went up. Oh yeah,
Okay.
man. Like I try to ship something like
California's
one
gonna-
record now.
It'll cost you 10, man.
For a bag?
It's stupid.
I mean, if you have the priority and it's like fixed, then no. But California costs a lot of money for us on the East Coast.
Does it? Okay. Well, we'll figure something out there. I mean, if here's the deal. What I want you to do is, if you want one of these shirts, hit me with an email at G as in goat, S as in snake, K as in kite. And this is in the description, by the way. All this stuff's in the description. Hit me with an email at gsk33166 at gmail.com. I'll put it in the chat unless you're doing that right now.
I got you.
Okay. And tell me your size and your shipping address. Particularly, don't forget your postal code if you're in Canada, or your what's it called, zip code here if you're in the States. If you're overseas, whatever your codes are, make sure they're on there. Tell me your size. Okay. And then right now, the way that I'm going to probably have these paid for, once that I get them in order, once the pre-order's through, and I'm either going to run the pre-order 2 to 4 weeks. I haven't decided. I'll let you know with a like a short or something like that. Right now, 2 to 3 weeks. But if more orders come in and whatnot, there's Jimmy saying great design. Yeah, absolutely. If I get like a whole bunch in fairly quickly, I'll have Marty do maybe 2 batches. Like I'll run off the first, let's just say 20 are ordered or 25 are ordered. I'll have him run the first 25, and then I'll actually probably have him run a second run where I order the ones that come in 2 or 3 weeks later, and I actually add 5 shirts of each size. So we'll do them in batches. I can't afford to buy 300 shirts and sit on them. The guys at Thralls, I think they're all pulling their money, and they're all, and they move more product than I do with a lot more subs. I can't quite go there yet. Ideally, it would be nice to get there, but, I don't know whether that's going to happen. With the time that I may have available to me, or, depending on how interested people are. So, anything I missed there, guys? Again, and then, oh, by the way, when you send in with your size and your address, then I will get an exact shipping amount to you. I will not try to jack up where I do notice, I think some places now are jacking $2-3 extra on, or maybe even more, for their shipping, so that they kind of cover their costs for whoever the clerk is that runs daily to the post office. My post office is literally out the door and 4 houses down. It's literally right around the corner. So I can walk there every day and post shirts, or every week or whatever. I will go down and find I'll get an exact weight of the shirt, what the bag weighs, and then I'll figure out zone wise what I'm going to have to charge. And so I'll get those prices back to you. And then the way to pay me, Zelly. Does anybody have Zelly? Is that one that people know of?
Zelle, Wells Fargo.
Yeah, Zelle. Venmo. I did set up a Venmo, and I've used it once for paying something myself. So Venmo, and then PayPal. Now, the question I have with you guys is, if people are sending me money for a shirt, are they hit with a charge, or am I hit with a charge?
If you do friends and family, there's no charge.
Yeah.
Friends
For
and family.
PayPal, and then
Okay.
Venmo operates a similar way.
Yeah. Friends and family, then, guys, use PayPal. Ideally, that might even be easier, although Venmo and Zelle, I have both those, so you could do that.
I think most people have PayPal. That's probably the most common. I mean, if you bought anything out of eBay, that's probably what you're using.
And I will make that note. Thank you for telling me that, Lee. I will make that note that on in the description about use friends and family to avoid the $2 or two. I think it's 2% or 3% or whatever.
Now, you don't have to be his actual friend and family. I'm just saying.
That's true. You don't have to be my friend if you don't want. That's true. So, yeah. Anybody have anything they want to add to stuff?
I can ask for everybody before they ask. When are the socks coming? And are you going to do any like stickers or anything along with this? Oh, okay.
I might look into getting a sticker of the gas mask thing done. I might do that.
That'd be cool.
Maybe like a throw in the box, for.
And that would probably, quite frankly, that would be the logo that you designed, Rick. So if it happens, now that you brought it up, Big Mouth, I'm going to need you to give me this stuff.
That's just the staples, man, or whatever,
right, Right. So yeah, we might do some stickers. I am not going to have multiple shirts at this point. I mean, I just don't see that happening. But I would love to sell 50 of these. That'd be super cool. But do I think it's going to happen? Hard to say. But with Lee's killer artwork, Rick's design work, can't thank you guys enough for doing that. And like I said, Rick, I owe you the beers, not the other way around. Lee, I'll get with you and probably. I need to check something out with my daughter yet. There was a bit of a snafu there, but
dude, I'm fine.
I'll talk to you. You know you'll get paid.
Yeah, we'll talk backstage. I got something I want to talk to you about too.
Okay. The only other thing underwear. Yeah, I'm not doing any thongs. Like, because it might be a little weird if you have where music melts your mind over a crotch of anyone's crotch. It would just be. But then again, who knows? Maybe Opeth. I remember the first thongs I saw with like band logos on was Opeth. They had the Opeth thongs, and those were pretty good sellers, as I remember Mike telling me. So. Kind of fucking hilarious. Red underwear, precisely, exactly. So, does anybody have any questions? It's in the chat real quick because Lee's got to go. So, let me know if anybody has any info there. Coming up Saturday.
I just wanted to mention something coming up on my channel, but you go first.
Do it.
Well, just if you guys haven't checked it out, beyond drawing and supplying art and stuff, I do run a podcast. It's called Heavy Art Talk. It's every Thursday. We just released an episode today with Skinner, who's like one of my very early art heroes. So it's a very funny episode.
Who's you do art for?
Art type. Skinner's highly entertaining.
Who's Skinner do artwork for?
Mastodon.
Oh, right. Nice.
That would be a big one. The OCs. I think he's done some work with High on Fire.
Nice, man. Nice. Yeah, Heavy Art Talk, man. You're getting some heavy hitters on there, no pun intended. And, for people that really value the artwork in a more than just looking at it sort of way. I mean, like, for example, there's really killer artwork, and then there's this. Now, I love this band, and I've been going crazy on the OG stuff.
Oh,
but man, I don't know if there's a worse. It became their icon, right? But the art is just not good.
Yeah, man. If you can seal that interview.
That guy? Find the seal guy. See if he's still alive.
Oh,
that would be
a good idea, man. Redemption. Where is he now?
That would be great. All right, so let's see. Real quick, coming up on Sunday at 2 p.m. Don't forget, it's daylight saving time. So set your whatever clock back, right? No, it's forward, right? It's forward.
Forward, yeah.
Yeah, set your clock forward. And don't forget, we'll be going live at 2 p.m. And I'm still waiting to hear from one guy yet who's in the chat here as to whether he's joining us. But we've got Johnny Mac, we've got Roger, we've got Logan, we've got Nick, we've got Eric Berg, we've got Dennis from Analog Archives, we've got Kellen from Killing for Company, we've got me, and we've got one other person still waiting. Oh, and we've got a new person coming from the Netherlands, and his name is, it's pronounced Yana, but it's actually spelled A-N-N-E. And I was struggling with that for a while. I'm like, dude, are you because I didn't know. It's a long story. I'll tell the story when we do it on Saturday. But we're doing traditional metal Yes, I'm waiting to hear from the Accusation Network whether he's going to be joining us on Sunday. So that should be a good one. I'm going to try real hard to keep it under 4 hours. Going to try. I've been doing pretty good with those, so I'm going to try and do that. And other than that, Rick, you got anything you want to pimp real quick? We're going to the show tomorrow night in Philly.
Yep, I'm going to the show. Nah,
Holder
just because I'm
Worm
coming up with the channel. So I think this year probably going to do what's going to be a month away. I'll probably do a 420 episode this year. Probably get the guys together.
Oh,
Should be a
of course
fun
you will.
one. Yeah.
All right.
I think Lee was treading on Stoner pretty close with that dragon. If he went a little further with the smoke and stuff, he could have had that theme
Stoner
going on.
Dragon, yeah.
Hey man, that's my cup of tea, dude.
All
Maybe
right.
when I hit 1,000 subs.
I think we're good here. I know all about that, Matt. I know all about it. It's a sickness. Okay, I think we got to roll because I got to get Lee out of here. I'm already 30 minutes or 10 minutes over. We will remember, send me an email, gsk33166. I think you guys put it in, but you did it. Can you not do you can't put at, can you?
It gets squirrely. I know when you try to do
Yeah, it kicks it out, doesn't it? Or
yeah.
I got a couple booted messages when I was trying to add your email.
Oh, I can do it. You guys can't. I can.
Okay.
So there you go. That's my email address. I want you to send me size, location, and how you're going to pay. Okay. So check out the description that will tell you everything you need to know about how to order these, and we'll go from there. And the last thing to point out real quick is, the pre-order is going to be between 2 and 4 weeks, and then of course I'll need to get them over to Marty, and he'll need to get them. So it could be 6 weeks before you get your shirt. Just being honest. If you hit me up right away and order one, I'll let you know when they're going up to press and when they're getting printed, and we'll go from there. So thank you everybody for joining me. Oh, there will be another Collector Scum. Of course there is. There always is. Edition coming up because I've accumulated way too much shit again. And we'll probably, Rick and I, maybe we'll do a tie-in with the Holder show tomorrow night. And last thing, Jimmy is coming in for MDF, and I'm planning to be at MDF, and we're going to be doing a special on his show with all the people that we know that are going to Maryland Death Fest in May. So we'll let you know when that's happening. And I've got some interviews that I'm working on getting set up. So I think that's kind of it. All good?
Sounds good.
All right, thanks for joining us tonight, peeps. We'll see all you on Sunday, let's hope, okay?
See you guys.
All right, later.
All right, we're out.